Chatting now with the AI Sherpa. It's Robert Mitchell. What's going on, man?
Hey, Jack. What's up?
We're enjoying IFA 2025 here in the exhibit hall. And, I think there are a few people talking about AI here at the IFA convention.
There are quite a few, and I'm missing a roundtable just to talk with you right now about it. But I'm going to go to the roundtable shortly, and there's a lot of AI roundtables for sure.
Yeah, lots of AI roundtables, a few panels, and some workshops. What are people asking you, as you are the Sherpa now, what are people asking you as you run into them in the coffee shops, in the hallways, and everything here at the convention? What are they asking you?
It's the common question. I'm sorry that it's so repetitive, but where do I start? And they hear all the buzz, they hear all the use cases. Some of them, it goes over their head. They don't understand the tech. Some of them, it's too basic, and they understand how to make a pretty flower with AI, but how does that apply to my business? And so they recognize that competitors are using it, the other industries are using it. They see there's leaps and bounds by AI, but they can't quite figure out how to apply it to their business, and they don't know where to look. So that's where most of what I'm getting is, where do I start?
Where do I start? And you've been hearing that probably for about 2 years now.
Yes,
right?
Definitely, because it doesn't change. It's a constant narrative, because they feel like there is something beyond their reach that's going to do a magic fairy dust to their business, and that's the lie that they're being told. So there is a part of AI use cases that is a false narrative. Like they're thinking that it's going to solve everything, and it's not quite the case. You need to look at it as a problem they're looking to solve, and you're going to look at that problem through the lens of an AI solution. That's how you look at it. And then you fix that problem, just like the theory of constraints. You fix that problem down the road, down the bottleneck, you'll find another one that reared its ugly head that's now the new problem. So that's how people should be looking at AI, but they're looking at a fairy dust or a big fix.
Got it. So you brought a guest with you today.
Oh, yeah.
Chatting now with us is Dan Monaghan, the CEO and founder of Clear Summit Group. Dan, I have to say, in franchising, I think you were the first person to take the stage at an event a little over 2 years ago to try to enlighten the rest of us on what AI could do for our franchise system. So welcome back to the podcast, first of all.
Great to be here, Jack.
Yeah, what are you hearing here at the convention yourself? Robert is getting sort of the rock star treatment, and everybody wants some free advice from him. What are you hearing the folks talking about here at convention when it comes to AI?
Yeah, well, it certainly is mystifying for a lot of people, because a lot of people think of it being about ChatGPT, and people are wrapping their head around that, and it's like, I can write emails with this, I can ask, it's a new, instead of Googling, I can now ask ChatGPT, so it's a new way of finding answers to questions. And so I think, but people are still trying to, as Robert said, trying to figure out how do we actually extract true values, true economic value out of this AI thing.
So you're using lots of different things within each of the brands inside Clear Summit, but also with WSI, this has become part of your offering. Is that right?
That's right. When I founded WSI 30 years ago, I was actually running a publishing company, and I was trying to build a website, because this interweb thing just kind of came, or the World Wide Web, or no, everyone was confused about it, but we wanted one of these web pages. And what I found is it was very difficult to get something that looked good, something that was coded well, and even if I could get the designer and the coder on the same page, neither of them knew anything about internet marketing, driving traffic to that site. So I solved this problem for our business, but then I sat back and said, don't all other businesses need this same problem solved? Eventually, everyone's going to have a web page. And so that we started WSI and then franchised it. And so, fast forward 30 years, if you look at WSI as one of the world's leading digital agencies, all of a sudden AI is hitting us, and how are we going to respond to this as an agency? We sell copywriting, we sell SEO, we sell design, and now AI can do all of this. Well, some agencies are actually being crushed by this.
Yeah.
And what we did is we looked at it as an opportunity and said, what if we re-engineer our entire business model where we can allow AI to do 85% of the work? How would that impact, and as a franchise system, you look at the unit economics for our franchisees. What if instead of hiring outsiders or coders, what if they could have all this done by AI? So we again applied this technology to solve our business problems, dramatically impacted the unit economics of the business, but now it left us with another question. What about the rest of the world? Doesn't everybody else need to apply AI in their businesses as well? So we took WSI's model, our business model of building frameworks and blueprints and applying that to delivering services for other businesses, and we've launched an AI arm. You could think of it as the world's first AI franchise, but it's actually really, it's about scaling much faster than traditional franchising because we're bringing a lot of others into our ecosystem. It's quite an interesting model that we've developed.
And who are the end customers for that model? Is it small businesses that your franchisees have as their customers, or what does that structure look like?
Well, great question. And when you look at the size of the AI consulting industry, what it's predicted to grow at, it's like 40% or 37% annual compound growth. But that's still these big companies, the McKinseys, the BCGs, the Accenture, all these companies. They don't get out of bed for under $1 million. Right.
So they're working for Coke and Pepsi and Starbucks, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we're targeting those businesses that are kind of in between $1 million and $50 million in revenue.
Okay.
Is that target? Small to medium-sized businesses, and there are millions of them around the world. And so we're going into their business. We're looking at how their operating systems work, and we're saying here are the various places where you can unlock hidden profitability, hidden revenue growth, hidden efficiency in your business through applying AI.
So how do you keep educating your franchisees who are now AI experts in, name a city, right? How do you keep them on the top of their game when it comes to knowing as much as the two of you guys know?
Well, when you consider that 30 years ago, all there was this was 2 years before Google. So search engines didn't even exist. There was no such thing as SEO, right? And so everything that has changed in the internet, whether it's social media or e-commerce or database integration, everything that's changed, we've had to continue to be on the leading edge. And the reason we've been able to do that is because we've developed an architecture within our business of being a learning organization. We often say that the only sustainable competitive advantage we have is the speed at which we learn. So we're highly collaborative within our network in the way we learn from each other. So it's almost a bit of if you think about how the franchise world works with the IFA and the way we all collaborate together, WSI has built that within our business where everyone is learning faster together. And that gives us a competitive advantage. Nobody can learn as fast as our global network can learn because we're all learning from each other, spread across the world.
So what does this look like? Robert, I'm going to go back to you. What does this look like 2 years from now? This consultancy part of the business and having franchisees who are really that, and I love this idea of a local expert for, again, whatever town, USA or Canada. What does that look like as far as 2 years from now?
Well, our old thing we said in our podcast on notice, remember that?
Yeah.
Enterprise is on notice.
Enterprise
because
is on
what we're going to be able
Enterprise.
to do for these medium and small businesses is leapfrog their capabilities, their productivity, their efficiencies, their economic value. They're going to be able to do more with less because of AI, and we're going to be the ones that made that happen. So all those competitors that our franchise owners are currently working with, all of our clients and their competitors that are double their size or triple their size, they're now going to be able to compete with those same competitors because of AI solutions. That's what we're going to see in 2 years from now, 100%.
Very nice. Do you see a competitive advantage, talking about franchise development now, in growing the system because of AI and this attraction to being part of something that's really on the leading edge for a potential franchisee? Maybe somebody who wasn't really thinking about a marketing company, but now that you're the AI Sherpas, that might be something that they want to be involved in. Have you had any discussions like that with franchisees?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly everybody wants to find a way to unlock the power or the economic impact of AI, right? It's kind of like, it's one thing to know that there's a wave coming. It's another thing to have a surfboard to actually ride it, right? I mean, there were many people back in the day that knew the internet was going to come along, right? There were people who could write code. Why is it that Bill Gates was able to ride that wave? I mean, he almost missed the wave. He didn't think it would happen originally, but there were people that unlocked economic value from that massive wave, and then there were those who didn't. And if you think about McDonald's, you know, the whole fast food industry, it was an explosion, and many people opened up a mom and pop or something, but McDonald's built a business model that it was basically like providing people surfboards, right? And that's what WSI is now providing, is surfboards to people who want to surf this AI wave, because we have an economic model that unlocks value for our clients and creates profitability for our franchisees in doing so. And the cool thing is that a big part of how we do that is with AI. Yeah. We've built a whole series of tools, we call them genius tools, and it's part of the way that our consultants unlock that value for our clients.
Very cool. Robert, I'm going to wrap it up with you. We haven't done an on notice segment in a while, but after you've been chatting with so many people here in Las Vegas this week, any thoughts on maybe some new people who should be on notice that their lives are about to change drastically due to AI?
You're putting me on the spot quite all the time.
I always do that.
Well, I think, and I hate to say this, but some franchisors are going to be on notice, and mainly because it's getting popular. We're getting a lot more buzz. One of our key vendors that we work with, Easy Assist, they're getting a lot more clients than they got last year at this event, and I think that's because everybody's starting to get on the bandwagon, drinking the Kool-Aid, and the ones that aren't are going to be on notice. So I think that's kind of the one I would think about. I think it's starting to hit a wave now. The surfboard is needed for everybody at this point.
All right, very good. Gentlemen, if anyone has more questions for you that we didn't get to today, where do you like to field those questions? Should we send them to the website, LinkedIn? Where do you want to have those conversations? Dan, we'll start with you.
They can connect with me on LinkedIn, or they can go to danmonaghan.com and find out a little bit more about what we do there.
All right. We'll have a link to all of that in today's show notes. Robert, how about you? Where do you want to have a chat?
Same. LinkedIn is great, and I love to connect with everybody I can to learn, share, teach, help. You got it.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show.